Are you able to identify the issues with quoting and paraphrasing in these student passages? Well, let's take a look. Here we've got a student who's using quotation marks. This tells the reader that these are the exact words of Kanazawa. But if you look at the original passage, that's not what Kanazawa said. And in fact, the student's changing the meaning a bit here too. I don't think Kanazawa is saying that this only happens sometimes, right? That's what makes it universal. And we see the same thing here in passage B. That's not exactly what Kanazawa said. Really, these students are paraphrasing. They can remove these quotation marks and help readers understand that these are their own words. We can also be careful to be accurate, make sure we're representing the sources properly, as we do. If you look at group 2, we see the opposite here. Here, the student presents this like it's a paraphrase, but if you look, almost word for word, that's what the original source said. And we see the same thing here. The student presents this like a paraphrase, but this is just a list of ideas presented in Kanazawa. These students can add quotation marks to show that these ideas are word for word, taken from the source. Group 3, this is a little trickier, but did you identify the problem? If you've read the source material carefully, then you have. Well, here is a passage from Kanazawa which includes these words. Human nature is a blank slate, tabula rasa. And the student presents that as a quote from Kanazawa. Well, there's just one problem. This is an idea from the standard social science model, which Kanazawa spends a whole chapter disagreeing with. In other words, this is really something that social scientists say. Kanazawa doesn't believe this is true. If you look at how the student presents it, it seems like Kanazawa does agree with this. So this writer is misrepresenting the source in a pretty dramatic way. And the same thing is happening here. Yes, Kanazawa mentions this idea, but it's not an idea that he agrees with, as this passage implies.